have got it right. I think one of the things that's attractive about this plan is at least it requires some private sector investment. And so the idea of kind of bridging up with the private sector so there's some shared investment here makes a lot of sense. We shouldn't hide the fact, though, that the taxpayer is really on the line for potentially hundreds of billions of dollars of losses. There's a reason they call these toxic assets. They're not nearly, mostly these are bad mortgages that simply aren't worth what they were when the mortgages were first made.
But the new name is legacy assets.
That's
now.
right.
You can't call them toxic assets anymore. But I find it interesting that the government is basically making it almost impossible for investors not to want to buy these toxic assets because they're insuring loans and then going halfway on the rest with hedge funds and investment funds. So it's almost becoming an impossible thing to turn down.
Yeah, maybe, Hala, you and I should invest in these things.
I know,
You're
I was thinking these are looking really attractive. For
because
$6, I can get a few bad mortgages and possibly make a lot more.
They come with a pretty good guarantee. And the real issue, though, I mean, let's not forget the big issue about the value of these assets. It all comes down to the real estate crisis that we have here in the United States. Right. And what we're really betting on, Hala, as taxpayers here, is if the market recovers and the housing market starts to rise again, then yes, it's conceivable taxpayers could actually make money on these, buying the assets at 50 cents on the dollar and then potentially reselling them for, say, 75 cents on the dollar. But also, there's a downside risk, too. If we haven't hit the bottom in the housing market and prices continue to fall, then taxpayers aren't going to get their money back.
And once again, taxpayers are going to have to bear the burden of it all.
And, of course, the big issue also is, will this help improve the balance sheets of the banks so we can get banks making loans again so we can get business as usual? And so far, that hasn't been happening. But there's a lot of people who think once we get the banks operating again, we could get out of this recession and we could potentially see a nice, swift recovery.
What more do these banks need? They've gotten, I don't know how many. That's right. Thank you, Eddie.